Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss about the inspection and expediting overview. What are the inspection activities and what are the expediting activities which are involved in the inspection department and expediting department. Uh, in this topic, mainly I will cover how the raw material inspection is carried out and laboratory testing for the raw material to be done, and in expediting dex expediting and other vendor shop expediting visits that I will discuss in it. uh, this is very vast subject, inspection and expediting, but three points I have covered here, and I will discuss on that how the inspection and expediting activities are done. So first we'll discuss about the raw material inspection and laboratory testing. Generally, you have seen that the raw material is in the form of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. These ferrous metals are metal slabs, hose bars, plates, castings, forging, stainless steel, carbon steel, pipes fitting, etc. And non-ferrous materials are bronze, aluminum, FRP, PVC, HDPE, etc. Also, the alloy steels and special materials like Histolite, zirconium, copper, nickel, duplex stainless steel, super duplex steels. These are the special metals which are used for mainly corrosion resistance in process industries and also in oil and gas industries where corrosion is the main problem occurs. Uh, there, these alloy steels are used. So we'll see how the raw material testing is inspection first we carried out. So raw material, visually you have to identify the marking on the raw material. In the marking you will see the heat number, material grade, manufacturer's name, that you have to verify with the melt test certificate. We generally call it as a MTC. With that you have to verify uh, this heat number, material grade, plate number. This you have to verify. Any manufacturer's logo is there. That visually you have to see on the raw material, and you have to correlate that heat number with the material test certificate. And that correlation you have to check whether it is satisfactory or not. Once you satisfy with the MTC correlation, then you have to check visually a raw material for various types of defects, inflects. You will see laminations, scaling, pitting of the plates, like that. In other raw materials, also any visual cracks are there, any damages or pitting marks, that you have to see visually raw material inspection, because this raw material is the main uh, part from which you this other final products will be generated. So this raw material should be as per the specification and the standards given. So raw material is the main inspection activity, and once the raw material satisfies the requirement as per the standards and specification, then only this next process will start, and the equipment or anything manufactured from that raw material will be having the good quality for this entire life cycle. So visually, once you satisfy with the raw material, then you have to check it dimensionally. Dimensional inspection you have to carry it out for thickness generally, and the length of the raw material and diameter you have to see, and that the tolerance limit for this are given in the standards that you have to verify. Generally, if you have seen the pipes of SS materials or fittings, you see that the thickness of the pipes and the fittings will be, you found that it is at the lower tolerance, because the manufacturer takes the advantages of the tolerance, and he manufactures the all the pipes and pipe fittings in lower tolerances. But we have to accept that, and in that way the manufacturer saves its material, that material is precious material, and he saves the material in the form of, and he saves the profit also, like that. Then we will see the raw material samples, how it is drawn. Once you satisfied with the visual and dimensional inspection, then you have to not only rely on the MTC. Physically, you have to take out the samples from the raw material. As per the standards given, you have to mark the cut that raw material and put your harsh stamping on that, so that that same harsh stamp raw material sample will go to the standard NABL laboratory. And uh, that this is for mainly identification, because nobody can means do anything false this raw material to send the laboratory, because any means good quality material they can send. So you have to put your stamp, so that same stamp, once you have to that material goes to the laboratory, there you have to verify that the same material is came to the laboratory. So this raw material samples will be sent to the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratory, that is generally called NABL approved labs. There the all testings will be carried out. So once that raw material reach to the laboratory, they have to do the machinings, because direct that raw material they cannot test. They have to do the machining. So once you that machining they have to do, before that you have to do the stamp transfer, which you have done at the raw material inspection. Once the in front of you, you have to do the stamp transfer on the machine sample, because the raw material is the once machined, you have to put your stamp, same stamp on that material of the machine material, so that there is no any confusion that other material has mixed with that sample. So this stamped material that once they are prepared, they will give you the request for inspection or request for the testing in the lab. So once that sample, first they will give you the call for the stamp transfer. Then they will do the this machining. As per the machining they will do as per the standards. And once the testing day is there, they will call you for the testing as per the material requirement, like for the raw material testing, varied test to be carried out, like mechanical testing. Generally we call it as a physical testing, and chemical testings also. And other test in laboratory we carried out as impact testing, hardness checks. There are also HIC, hydrogen induced cracking tests are also there. And also there are many types of tests as per standards that will be performed in the laboratories. And once that tests satisfied by that raw material, then only the material will be, all material will be processed for the further. So I was discussing about the stamp transfer, and once that you will visit to the laboratory, then you have to witness the samples, witness the lab testings for the mechanical and chemical properties. This mechanical testing generally to see the what is the ultimate tensile strength, yield strength, and elongation of that material as per the standards given. This mechanical testing is done on the universal testing machine, as you have seen in the college laboratory also. This UTM machine is present in the labs. So there you do the testing. And to measure the elongation, we to mark on the sample initial length of 50 mm, so that we can calculate the elongation after the test completes. So initial marking we do of the 50 mm length. Then this test piece is clamped in between the upper and lower jaw of the UTM machine. and the force is applied to pull apart the test piece in opposite direction until the test piece fractures. During the load application, you will find that the sample crosses the plastic state, that is the yield point, on the stress versus strain curve, and finally it fractures. If you want to visually see the yield point, then you have to clamp the uh, micrometer on the width of that sample, uh, and tighten it. Once the when so you pull that sample from upper and lower jaw, the at the yield point, that micrometer um, will move downside, means uh, that length of that this one will be decreased. That will consider we as the yield point of that material. So this also nowadays that is not required, because the computerized machines are there, and you can from the graph you will find out the yield strength and tensile strength easily. So this tensile strength and yield value are obtained from stress strain curve also. For finding out the elongation, the fracture freeze will be kept together to see the final length, to measure the final length. Uh, as initially we have marked the 50 mm length, then we will we will measure the final length, and we will calculate the elongation percentage there. This is the generally you have seen the universal testing machine, UTM machine, where the UTS and yield strength values are carried out. Then also for the raw material inspection, we carried out the chemical testing to check the metal compositions, mainly carbon percentage, nickel percentage, chromium percentage, etc. Other, as I said, that lab testings are also witnessed as per the requirement given, like if the raw material is used for the hydrogen sulfide solutions, or oxygen service, N2 service, various service applications that raw material will be used. According to that, you have to carry out the micro test, HIC test, bend test. That test you have to carry it out. Only after the satisfactory laboratory test results, raw material is accepted and released for the further process of manufacturing. Else, it will be rejected. Uh, that is the part of the raw material inspection. Then we'll see in brief what are the generally inspection activities are there. This mainly I covered for the fabrication industries, or for the welding and pressure vessels inspection activities. First is the review and the approval of the QAP, WPS, PQR, WPQ, NDT procedures. Vendor has to submit, once he get the purchase order from the customer, he has to submit the quality assurance plans, NDT procedures, WPS, PQR, and WPQ to the customer for the review. And on that QAP, WPS, the customer inspector or third party inspector will give the comments, and according to that comments, means he will check the quality assurance plan, and if any test additional tests are required by the tender document, or any as per the standards, he will be give the comment on that QAP, and that comment the vendor has to incorporate the comments in that QAP, and accordingly he has to resubmit the quality assurance plan. Likewise, this NDT procedures also, he has to, if comments coming from the client, he has to, vendor has to recorrect it and resubmit for the approval. In WPS, that WPS PQR will be witnessed by third party inspection agency, because if he is using the means if he is using the WPS and PQR already generated for the previous orders, then he can use same WPS PQRs if there is no any major changes have done. So he will that WPS PQR will be applicable, or if required, if the materials are different, he has to do the new WPS and PQRS test in front of the third party inspection agencies, and he has to get approval from that third party inspection authorities. Then next, this inspection activities also include the witnessing of weld metallurgy test, interpretation of radiographic films, interpretation of the dye penetration test, this NDT test, ultrasonic test. That is the part of the inspection activities, and that witnessing is the uh, job role. Witnessing is the responsibility of the inspector for that materials. So then the inspection engineer has to witness the final hydrostatic testing, pneumatic testing of the piping, pressure vessels, storage tanks, pressure vessel component, etc. So in between that also some stage inspection activities will be there. That is, stage inspection activities include the after raw material, there may be some dish formations will be there. He has to witness the making of the dish, and then setup of the weldings, fit ups, various types of nozzle fit ups, and dish to shells setups. Then L seam setups, circular C seam setups, circular circumferential seam setups he has to witness. Then these are the because there are lots of activities inspection engineer has to carry out, but in brief I have mentioned here. Then the review of the once this final inspection is carried out, he has to review all the documents as per the, and he has to approve all the final documents. And the once the product is formed, the coating and the painting of the piping vessels as per applicable the specification, he has to do the inspection, and that should be as per the applicable specification and the standards. Other inspection activities will be that this in earlier side we have seen that this inspection activities is on the shop floor mainly. Other inspection activities include the clarification of our quality needs and customer complaints resolution, because if you have inspected any component and at site it fails, or if you have witnessed the hydro testing or anything and at site it fails, then you have to means that the customer will raise the complaint and you have to resolve uh, this complaint. Such type of, there are many complaints you have to resolve, and take care that there should not be any customer complaint, because that will means if the that will damage your this one name of the company and your name. Then coordinate with the third party inspection visits. Means is it's in inspection activities, the inspection is the responsibility of client. Also there is involvement of other consultancy firms, also the third party inspection agencies are involved. So he has to coordinate all these inspection activities, and he has to give the means hold points he has to clear, because the on QAP you will find the hold points. Hold points are generally given on the final inspection or hydro test inspection, where without the customer clearance, the vendor cannot proceed for the further stage, as this third party or any customer wants to visit witness that, here the vendor has to give the request for the inspection, and this here the client will visit there and witness that and clear, then only the material that vendor will proceed further. Then maintain the equipment material inspection status register. That inspection activities also involve that for a project specific, he has to maintain the register, which are the inspection completed, at what stage various equipments are there. he has to inform the client that is these equipments are at these stages, this part of the inspection activities are completed, and these equipments are at the final stage. That status he has to give to the customer. If the pipe fittings are there, if the client has put the 1,000 fittings order, then only 200 fittings are cleared and dispatched. That status he has to maintain. This is the part of the inspection activities. Then the next will be the main measure is the expediting activities. This expediting is important because when we place the PO by the customer to the vendor, then they will mention that he will provide in the PO, they will mention the PO delivery date. And sometimes what happens, due to there are various uh, you can say, because of delays of the raw material purchase or any delays of manpower, means manpower non availability, like that, the vendor is not adhering with the PO delivery date, and he will not dispatch as per the PO delivery. So that from the placement of PO, the inspection or expediting this department has to track this PO status, we can say. So once the PO is placed, then we will get the manufacturing schedule. Means from the PO placement to the PO delivery date, we'll take the schedule from the vendor, that which activities will be completed in that time period, and if vendor will meet the PO delivery date. So we have to verify each activities. That is the in that activity we have to prepare necessary project expediting and inspection procedures. Then first you have to expedite vendor drawing PAPA, that you have to expedite, and finally you have to do the final expediting for the final dossier and manuals from the vendors. So some critical equipments are required at site, because some work will be pending for that material. So that critical equipment will be delivered at site on priority. So that parts, with the consultation with the customer, you have to sort out that critical parts or bottleneck items, and that parts you have to, that components you have to expedite delivery for that equipment or materials. So you have to close track on that material. Each days what are the activities performed at that material, and if it is matching with the schedule given, that you have to track that um, that process you have to track, or that manufacturing schedule you have to track, and give the take the dates from the vendors. Then you have to do the DEX expediting, which includes the follow-up status monitoring of items wide emails and teletalks. You have to do. You have to maintain the Excel sheet. You have to maintain daily follow-up with the vendor. What is the each day status, means per day, what the process progress happen on that part, or any delay due to anything, that you have to inform to the client any difficulties facing by the vendor. You have to interact with the customer, that such problems are faced by the customer. You have to sort out that problem. Any engineering issue you have to sort out, that you have to do in expediting activities. And if required, if the vendor is not responding or there is a delay, yeah, and you will see any delay as per the schedule, then in that case you have to do the expediting visit to the vendor shop and make the expediting reports also. And in that also you have to maintain the equipment and material status results, like in inspection also, what are the each stage dates, and that activities, that register you have to maintain. This is the mainly in brief I have told the expediting activities. Thank you for the patient listening. Any comments will be welcome. We'll resolve that comments. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.